After the Liberation War in 1986, many people lost their lives and there was an upsurge of orphans. In equal measure, there was birth of many NGOs taking care of children. Most of them opted for creation of orphanages, and since then, it has been the biggest children care model. However, much as the orphanages provided good food, education, shelter, and most of the basic needs of children, some of the children who grew up in them have terrible memories. When you meet 21-year-old Kenneth Sserunjogi moving on the streets of Kampala, the thought of him having had a terrible experience while living in an orphanage at a very young age cannot cross your mind. It is until he sits you down and narrates his ordeal, then you can start comparing the young Sserunjogi that grew up in what one could call a very unfriendly environment. He shared his experience with Wiki Wandawa. He carries very disturbing memories of his childhood from the orphanage he grew up from. Sserunjogi spent 5 years in the orphanage after his peasant mother failed to take care of him and his 8 siblings. His family lived in a dilapidated house with a leaking roof in Mengo, Kampala. The troubled teenager says he always found comfort at the football pitch in the neighborhood.
We grew up in not a good situation. I reached the point and said, "Man, if I've got a certain step at education, let also this one, the young ones, have a chance." That was when I was going to sit for my primary 7. When they chase you away from school, I used to go to the beach, football grounds, and I could spend my time there, and I could forget about the problems at home and find very happy friends there. I could enjoy life, and unless when you go back home and you start to remember, oh, I'm now home, and the problems come back to you. So that's how life went on and on and on. So one time when I was at the football ground, there is a certain gentleman that came and got interested in the way I was passing the ball, in the way I was good at football, and he got interested in me. And he told me about what they do and about his orphanage. He had an orphanage, of course, and he was taking care of some boys. I told him about life at home, and he told me that, "You come, I went to the orphanage, stayed with him, and at first it seemed to be a very nice place. We had a very good time because it was soccer, because most of the boys could play soccer, so we could go out and play soccer."
Taken to an orphanage at the age of 12, Sserunjogi says the worst day of his life was when the caretaker nearly killed one of the children. He says the caretaker grabbed one of the children by the neck and almost strangled him. However much the children pleaded, he scared all off. The voice of the wailing baby and the images of that day are still fresh in Sserunjogi's mind.
It was about a brother, because we live like brothers in the orphanage. And this gentleman, the brother does a mistake. He's very young, and this person is very old, but he gets pissed off. He uses his fists, starts punching the boy, getting the fingers to the neck, trying to kill the boy because he has done something.
What had he done?
The boy had got a shoe. He had stolen a shoe, and this person beats very terribly the boy, that it tried to squeeze the neck, and the boy could no longer breathe. And we were all like very scared, and we could not do anything. We could say, please forgive, but you could turn to look at you, and you would just run away from the scene. Entire week looking for our brother, finding the brother in street, sleeping in these trenches where water passes, and we could ask the boy, please come back home, and he's like, no, I can no longer come there. I can no longer come to a place where I'm going to die. So the boy left until now.
In one other occasion, Sserunjogi was slapped by the caretaker, making him lose balance. When it came to meals, Sserunjogi says there are days when they hardly had a meal. The over 30 children crumbled in a small room on empty stomachs. He asserts that the administrators allegedly used the money sent in by the donors for their selfish needs. This, he says, left many with no chance of going to school because of no school fees and also having no beddings to cover themselves in the night. When the donors stopped sending in funds for help, many orphans were told to go away since the little support they were given then was not available. However, Sserunjogi met luck. He went into a family where he was received, introduced to the rest of the family members, and told he was now part of the family. From that time, life changed and has never looked back. He was adopted by a couple which had 2 biological children. He was welcomed into the home. The father introduced him to the children and the wife and said he was their new brother and that they would share everything with him.
But when I joined the home care ministry, lots of things changed. So we were 3 in a home, and we were all treated equally.
After undergoing such misery in his childhood, Sserunjogi found a father in this man. He took care of him, listened to him, and always gave him advice. He performed well throughout his education to the university. He recently graduated with a bachelor's degree in information technology. Sserunjogi, 21 years now, works with Avator Foundation Uganda in Mpigi district, a non-government organization that takes care of orphans and vulnerable children. He also works with Osita Soccer Uganda, a project that uses sports as a tool of reaching out to youth and children in different locations to spread the gospel as well as life skills. He says if it was not for the home care orphanage-based system, he would be living like a destitute today. This report was compiled by Vicky Wandawa for New Vision TV.